What if everything you believe about your destiny has only been the prologue, and today you finally hear the chapter the universe has been waiting to whisper to you? Have you ever felt a quiet electricity inside you, a subtle shift in the air, as if some unseen force were preparing you for a revelation greater than anything you have known? That sensation, that almost sacred pull in your spirit, is not random. It is an invitation. It is the universe knocking at the doors of your awareness, asking you to stay, to listen, to remember. Tonight, as we step into the realm of Aquarius, the visionary of the Zodiac, know this: what you are about to hear was meant for you. It was written in the energy surrounding your birth, carried by time, and delivered to this exact moment. This is your sign to keep watching. Something inside you is preparing to awaken. And so I ask you again, with all the depth of your soul, have you ever sensed that you were different, not just in your thoughts, but in your very frequency? As if you were born with an internal compass pointing toward truths others cannot yet see. If a part of you has always felt destined to create, to transform, to elevate, then listen closely. The Aquarian spirit is one of cosmic rebellion, of spiritual evolution, of minds that walk years ahead of the world. If you are still here, you are meant to hear what comes next. Your energy is aligned. Your intuition is wide open. Stay with me, because this is where your journey begins. Welcome, seeker of truth. Tonight, we move through a doorway that many sense but few dare to cross. This is the doorway of consciousness, of awakening, of remembering the power that was always yours. Aquarius is more than a sign. It is a frequency that breathes innovation, a spiritual wind that clears the pathways of the past and reveals the blueprint of the future. In modern Western astrology, in psychological interpretation, even in the ancient wisdom of Vedic teachings, Aquarius carries the same message. You are not here to repeat history. You are here to redirect it. You are not here to follow. You came to redefine what is possible. Feel the atmosphere shift around you as these words reach your awareness. Feel your breath deepen, your chest expand, your intuition awakening like a beacon of light. This is more than content. This is activation. The universe is aligning your hearing with your purpose. Every sentence is a thread pulling you deeper into a vision that belongs to your soul. You may have questioned your place, your timing, or your path. But tonight, those doubts dissolve like mist. The Aquarian current is rising within you, calling you to understand who you truly are and why your spirit chose this timeline. And as we prepare to journey further, let this truth settle gently inside your heart. You were never misunderstood. You were simply ahead of time. You were wired for intuition, for liberation, for the kind of wisdom that only awakened souls can hold. The story you have lived so far has been your preparation. Now, you step into revelation. Before we continue deeper into this unfolding, leave a comment of self-affirmation, something like, "I am open and I am awakening." Aquarius is a mystery that speaks in symbols rather than sentences, and when we begin to explore its essence, it feels almost like stepping into a hidden chamber within the universe. Imagine sitting across from someone who seems to think in lightning flashes rather than words, someone whose mind feels connected to something vast, something ancient, something futuristic all at once. That is the Aquarian spirit. It is the breath of the heavens infused with electricity, carrying knowledge across time. When we say Aquarius is an air sign, we are not referring to gentle breezes or calm winds. Aquarius is the electric air before a storm, the spark that ignites possibility. It is the force that makes you pause in wonder, sensing that something extraordinary is about to unfold. Now let us go deeper, because the symbol of Aquarius often confuses people. The water bearer appears to represent water, but this water is not literal. It is the water of consciousness, the sacred flow of understanding that nourishes humanity. Aquarius carries the wisdom of ages in a vessel of truth and pours it into the collective. Yet the sign itself belongs to the element of air, the realm of thought and intuition. This duality reveals something powerful. Aquarius does not simply think. Aquarius perceives. Aquarius does not simply question. Aquarius channels insights that arrive fully formed, like visions from a realm beyond the five senses. When someone with strong Aquarian energy enters a room, it feels as if the future just walked in quietly, waiting to be recognized. Many Aquarians describe a feeling that has followed them since childhood, a sensation of observing the world rather than being fully immersed in it. It is as if they carry a subtle awareness that they are different, not in a superior sense, but in a dimensional one. They feel like visitors in a world that moves slower than their intuition. This is not a flaw. This is their spiritual signature. Souls who incarnate under the Aquarian current often bring wisdom from other lifetimes, other experiences, possibly even other realms of consciousness. They enter this life with a mission coded in their spirit, one that unfolds gradually, like a constellation forming in the night sky. In evolutionary astrology, this mission is described as a calling. Aquarius comes to break patterns that hold humanity back. Aquarius is here to challenge structures that limit growth, to question the traditions that no longer serve their purpose, and to offer ideas that seem impossible until suddenly they are reality. This is why so many Aquarians feel restless in environments that resist change. Their souls vibrate at frequencies that crave innovation. They do not seek disruption for chaos, they seek disruption for evolution. When they push against the familiar, it is because their inner compass points unwaveringly toward progress. There is something incredibly touching about the spiritual texture of Aquarius. Beneath their logical mind lies a deep and unwavering faith in human potential. Even when they appear detached or distant, there is a quiet hope inside them that humanity can rise, heal, transform, and create a better world. This hope is not naive. It is ancestral. It is inherited from generations of visionary souls who carried the same flame. Aquarius continues that torch, often without even realizing it. When they dream for everyone. When they imagine a better world, they imagine it for the collective. They are connected to a cosmic blueprint that urges them forward. And the more we explore the Aquarian essence, the clearer it becomes that this sign is not merely one personality among many. It is a frequency, a vibration, a spiritual wave that pulses through the timeline of humanity. It brings awakening, it brings innovation, it brings shifts in consciousness. To understand Aquarius is to understand the future before it arrives, because the Aquarian spirit is already living it. When their intuition sparks, it feels like a message carried across great distances. When their ideas emerge, they feel like puzzle pieces placed gently into the mind by something greater. And when they step into alignment with their purpose, the world around them begins to shift. Aquarius carries an inner archetype that feels almost like a myth written into human form. When you speak to someone with strong Aquarian energy, you can sense a presence that seems both familiar and otherworldly. They carry the blueprint of the outsider who sees everything from a higher vantage point, as if they were placed on the edges of ordinary life in order to understand it more deeply. This is not an outsider in the sense of exclusion, but an outsider in the sense of elevation. Imagine someone standing on a hill while everyone else navigates a maze. Aquarius is that one person who sees the entire picture. When we explore this archetype, we begin to understand why Aquarians often feel a sense of distance from their surroundings. It is not emotional coldness. It is clarity. It is awareness. It is the ability to observe without being consumed. Now, let us talk about intuition, because the Aquarian intuition is unlike anything else in the zodiac. It does not whisper. It does not trickle in. It arrives in flashes, fully formed, like a download from a spiritual signal tower. Aquarians often say things that make sense only months or even years later. They perceive patterns long before those patterns become visible. Their minds operate not like a straight line, but like a constellation where every star connects to another. When you are in conversation with an Aquarian, it can feel as if they are weaving together threads of logic and threads of mysticism, forming a tapestry of insight that no one else noticed. They do not follow intuition. They merge with it. Their spiritual mission emerges from this unique wiring. Aquarius is called to see ahead so that others can eventually walk there. This is why they resist limitations, routines, and expectations that feel too small. Their souls require a larger horizon. Every Aquarian carries a subtle internal whisper that says there is more. More potential, more growth, more truth. And when they embrace this whisper, their energy expands like a lighthouse for those around them. They become catalysts for transformation, even when they do not intend to. Their very presence encourages others to think differently, to question deeply, to dream boldly. The archetype of Aquarius is the teacher who does not teach through instruction but through vibration. And there is another side to this archetype that is rarely discussed but deeply felt. Aquarians possess a remarkable ability to detach emotionally, not because they lack feeling, but because their spiritual purpose requires clarity. Their detachment is not coldness. It is protection of their inner frequency. They feel the collective energy of people more intensely than most would imagine. To survive that intensity, they step back, observe, recalibrate, and return when they are aligned again. This creates the image of the sacred outsider who walks with the group yet remains above the noise. In truth, this balance is one of their greatest strengths. And so, as we reflect on the inner archetype of Aquarius, we begin to see something beautifully paradoxical. They belong everywhere and nowhere at the same time. They love humanity yet guard their solitude. They carry ancient wisdom yet embody futuristic vision. They are the bridge between past and potential, between the known and the possible. Aquarius is the embodiment of cosmic individuality living within the world, but never limited by it. When we explore the Aquarian spirit, we must also look into the shadow that shapes their journey. Every sign carries a shadow that serves as a guide, and for Aquarius, that shadow is often a feeling of emotional distance, not because they are incapable of love, but because their souls operate on a different wavelength. Aquarians experience emotion like someone standing in deep water while trying to hold a lantern above the surface. They feel everything, yet they also attempt to rise above so they can understand what they are feeling. This creates moments when they seem unreachable. Their shadow emerges from the tension between wanting to feel connected and needing freedom to breathe. Another aspect of the Aquarian shadow is the sense of cosmic loneliness that many carry silently. This loneliness is not created by lack of connection but by lack of resonance. Aquarians often move through life sensing that their thoughts do not match the pace of the world around them. They understand things quickly, they shift perspectives easily, and they see possibilities that others cannot imagine. This creates a spiritual ache, a longing for someone who understands them without explanation. They may appear self-sufficient, but there is a quiet yearning within them for a connection that does not require translation. This is why friendships and relationships must be built on authenticity, not expectation. Yet from this shadow arises one of the most luminous lights in the zodiac. Aquarius holds a humanitarian heart that beats for the collective. Their compassion is not limited to one person or one situation. It expands across communities, movements, and even generations. They feel responsible for the future in a way that is profound. They envision better systems, more inclusive societies, and ways of being that honor the soul rather than the structure. Their light emerges through their capacity to innovate, uplift, and challenge the world to rise higher. Aquarians become torchbearers for progress, not because they seek glory, but because they cannot turn away from what needs to evolve. Another part of their light is their uncanny ability to bring people together without forcing connection. Aquarians attract those who think differently, those who feel displaced, those who seek spaces where they can finally be themselves. Aquarius creates these spaces naturally. They cultivate acceptance without needing to declare it. Their energy simply says you belong here as you are. This gift is healing for many, and it is something Aquarius rarely recognizes in themselves. They gather communities, ideas, and hearts with a kind of effortless honesty. So when we look at both sides, the shadow and the light, we see that Aquarius is shaped by contrast. They are both storm and calm, both solitude and unity, both question and answer. Their inner conflicts forge their wisdom, and their detachment creates clarity that guides others. They are not meant to follow the path. They are meant to illuminate it. And through that illumination, their shadow and light become one continuous truth, a truth that defines the spiritual essence of the visionary of the zodiac. When we step into the realm of Aquarius relationships, something fascinating happens. It becomes clear that Aquarians do not love in the conventional way. They love with intellect. They love with spirit. And they love with an energy that feels like a breeze passing through an open window. You can sense it. You can feel refreshed by it, but you cannot contain it. Aquarius sees relationships not as cages but as collaborations of souls. When they give their heart, they give it with sincerity, but they also give it with the expectation that both people will continue to grow rather than shrink. This is why Aquarius partnerships often feel lighter, freer, and more expansive than others. They want a connection that breathes. They want a companion who can stand beside them, not someone who clings. What makes their love so unique is their ability to combine emotional presence with spiritual distance. They can be near without overwhelming, intimate without suffocating, committed without feeling captured. To them, love is at its highest when both individuals are fully themselves. Think of it as standing in a wide field under a star-filled sky. You are together, yet each person is free to look upward and wonder. Aquarius values relationships that encourage discovery. If someone attempts to restrict them, their spirit withdraws, not out of anger, but out of instinct. Their soul understands that love cannot thrive in closed spaces. Communication plays a powerful role in their relationships. Aquarians express affection through ideas, through shared experiences, through conversations that stretch into early morning hours. They connect mind to mind, and when that mental bridge forms, it becomes incredibly strong. A partner who stimulates their thoughts awakens their heart. Yet emotional expression may come differently. Instead of grand displays or sentimental gestures, Aquarius shows love by being present when it truly matters, by listening without judgment, and by supporting a partner's individuality. They love through encouragement rather than expectation. Friendship is also sacred to Aquarius. Many Aquarians will say that their partner must first be a friend. This is because friendship allows them to form a bond without pressure, without roles, without the weight of traditional labels. As friends, they observe how energy flows. They see if the connection strengthens or weakens over time, and once they trust the authenticity of that bond, they allow the relationship to deepen naturally. They are loyal in a way that feels almost silent. They will not always say the words, but they will show up, again and again, even when others drift away. Their loyalty may not be loud, but it is steady. And in social spaces, Aquarius becomes the unseen connector. They draw people in without trying. Their energy attracts those who feel different, those who are searching, those who want a space where they can breathe fully. Aquarians celebrate individuality and create circles where authenticity is welcomed rather than judged. Their communities often include artists, thinkers, dreamers, and those who simply refuse to conform. Aquarius becomes the anchor of these groups, not through control, but through presence. They let people be who they are, and in that freedom, relationships blossom. When we examine the spiritual journey of Aquarius, we uncover a path that is both ancient and futuristic. Aquarius carries the inner strength of Saturn, known as Shani in Vedic astrology, combined with the visionary force of Rahu. This blend creates a personality that is both deeply disciplined and wildly imaginative. Saturn teaches Aquarius patience, responsibility, and karmic wisdom. Rahu awakens their hunger for discovery, innovation, and transformation. The result is a soul that feels pulled in two directions, one toward grounding and structure, and the other toward liberation and possibility. Their spiritual growth comes from learning how to balance both sides without abandoning either. Every Aquarian life contains moments where the past collides with the future. They may feel the weight of expectations that come from Saturn, such as duty, practicality, and perseverance. Yet at the same time, they feel the call of Rahu urging them to push boundaries, to explore new ideas, and to leap toward unknown horizons. This internal tension is not a burden, it is a map. It guides them toward discovering their strongest self. Through Saturn they learn endurance. Through Rahu they learn expansion. When they integrate these energies, they become unstoppable forces of insight and innovation. Another defining trait of Aquarian spiritual evolution is the way their aura shifts with consciousness. Their energy tends to vibrate in shades of electric blue, violet, and silver, colors that represent intuition, wisdom, and cosmic awareness. People around them often sense this even without understanding it. They may feel drawn to an Aquarian without knowing why. They may feel safer speaking truths they never revealed before. This is because Aquarius has an aura that encourages honesty. They radiate permission to be real. Their spiritual energy acts as a mirror that reflects a person's authentic self. Evolution for Aquarius does not arrive in small steps. It arrives in waves. There are moments in their life when everything shifts at once. These moments often come after periods of detachment or introspection. Aquarius withdraws to realign, and when they emerge, they do so with clarity that reshapes their path. Their awakening is not about abandoning their individuality. It is about refining it. It is about tuning into their higher self and listening to the messages that flow from intuition rather than fear. As they evolve, they become teachers without classrooms and guides without formal titles. Their wisdom spreads naturally through conversation, presence, and example. Aquarius also experiences an awakening of purpose that extends beyond personal success. They feel called to uplift communities, to improve systems, and to encourage shifts in consciousness across generations. Their spiritual growth is tied to the collective. Each time they follow their intuition, they indirectly help others rise. Each time they challenge a limiting belief, they open a door for someone else. This is why the spiritual path of Aquarius is so powerful. It is not isolated, it is interconnected. Their evolution inspires evolution in others. Their awakening becomes a catalyst for the awakening of many. There comes a time in every Aquarian journey when something begins to shift from within. It is subtle at first, almost like a quiet hum beneath the surface of ordinary life. You may find yourself questioning patterns that once felt familiar, or noticing truths that others are not yet prepared to see. This is the beginning of the Aquarian awakening. It is not a dramatic event, but a spiritual unfolding, the moment when your inner compass starts pointing unmistakably toward a higher path. And when this awakening begins, you feel it not only in your mind, but in your entire being. One of the first signs of this awakening is the sudden inability to tolerate anything superficial. Conversations that once felt normal begin to feel empty. Environments that once felt acceptable begin to feel limiting. You may feel a pull toward deeper meaning, deeper freedom, and deeper authenticity. It is as if the universe gently removes everything that is too small for your spirit and replaces it with opportunities for expansion. Aquarius does not evolve in a straight line. They grow in leaps, in bursts of clarity, in breakthroughs that arrive unexpectedly. These moments of awakening often feel like doors unlocking inside your consciousness, revealing parts of yourself that were always there but never fully understood. Another powerful marker of Aquarian awakening is the acceleration of intuitive flashes. Insights arrive with greater speed, creativity flows more freely, and your perception widens. You start noticing synchronicities, connections, and energetic patterns that others overlook. This is your spiritual vision sharpening. And as this vision expands, your sense of purpose becomes more defined. You begin to understand that you are not here by chance but by assignment. Every challenge you endured, every shift you navigated, every moment of doubt that shaped your resilience was preparing you for the phase you are stepping into now. Relationships also transform during this awakening. You may outgrow certain connections without conflict, simply because your frequency rises and requires more honesty, more space, and more alignment. You begin to attract people who reflect your truth rather than your wounds. You start feeling drawn to communities that share your values, your curiosity, and your desire for growth. Aquarius discovers that the more they embrace their awakening, the less alone they feel, because they start to resonate with others who are awakening as well. This resonance creates bonds that feel more authentic, more soul-directed, and more stable than anything forced by circumstance. And in the midst of all this transformation, Aquarius uncovers the deepest gift of their awakening. They realize that they were never meant to fit into the world as it is. They were meant to elevate it. They were never meant to shrink themselves for comfort. They were meant to expand so others would also find the courage to expand. Their awakening becomes a light that guides the collective. It reminds everyone that individuality is sacred, that truth is liberating, and that evolution is not something to fear, but something to celebrate. As we gather everything we have explored, something becomes beautifully clear. Aquarius is not just a sign, it is a calling. It is a cosmic encouragement to honor your individuality, to embrace your uniqueness, and to trust the inner vision that has always guided you, even when the world did not understand it. You are not meant to walk through life quietly. You are meant to leave footprints of innovation, bravery, and awakening wherever you go. You were designed to see possibilities before they exist, to feel truths before they manifest, and to inspire others simply by being authentically yourself. Your spiritual empowerment arrives when you finally trust that you are enough exactly as you are. You do not need to dilute your ideas, soften your intuition, or hide your brilliance to be accepted. The world often resists what it does not yet understand, and that is why so many visionaries throughout history felt misunderstood in their lifetime. But their legacy rose precisely because they dared to remain aligned with their truth. You walk with that same energy, the energy of someone who came here to reshape the world, one insight at a time. Aquarius learns that authenticity is their greatest shield and their greatest blessing. When you stand in your truth, your light becomes unshakable. When you honor your individuality, you become a force that cannot be silenced. When you trust your intuition, you move with the rhythm of the universe rather than the expectations of society. This spiritual empowerment is not loud. It is steady, like a flame that refuses to be extinguished even by the strongest wind. Through it, you discover that faith does not come from certainty. Faith comes from choosing to rise even when the path is still forming beneath your feet. And as this message settles within you, imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast horizon. The air around you is alive with possibility. The sky stretches without limit. The future feels open, waiting for your next step. You are not alone on this journey. You walk with the wisdom of Saturn, the courage of Rahu, the clarity of air, and the compassion of the water-bearer. You walk with the energy of someone who was born to open paths, not follow them. Let your truth move forward with confidence. Let your inner vision rise. Let your purpose speak clearly through your spirit. Take a long and steady breath as we enter this final reflection, because what we have unfolded together is far more than an exploration of a zodiac sign. It is a journey into identity, into purpose, into the quiet place within your spirit where truth is born. Aquarius, the visionary of the zodiac, reminds us that every soul carries a spark that cannot be replicated. You were not created to repeat the patterns of yesterday. You were created to imagine the world of tomorrow. You were crafted with the ability to question, to evolve, to dream beyond boundaries, and to rise beyond circumstances. This reflection is a reminder that your life is not a sequence of random events, but a tapestry woven with intention and meaning. Sit with the idea that your uniqueness is not an accident. It is a divine design. The traits that make you feel different, the thoughts that set you apart, the intuitive flashes that appear in your mind as if carried by the wind, all of these are sacred gifts. They are evidence that the universe placed a vision inside you that could not be entrusted to anyone else. You carry a purpose that belongs only to your spirit. And in this world, which often asks people to conform, your greatest act of courage is to stay true to the frequency of your own soul. Aquarius teaches us that individuality is not isolation. Individuality is revelation. It reveals what humanity is capable of becoming. Let yourself feel the depth of that truth. Feel it in your chest, in your breath, in the quiet spaces of your mind. The journey you walk is not always easy. There are moments of doubt, moments of detachment, moments when you feel unseen or misunderstood. But every one of those moments is shaping you, refining you, preparing you. You are being sculpted into someone who can hold wisdom, carry innovation, and create shifts that ripple far beyond your own life. Think of the countless visionaries in American history who dared to go against the grain. They felt what you feel. They carried the same fire. And because they listened to that inner voice, they changed everything. So allow yourself to trust the pull that guides you. Trust the sudden clarity that arrives without explanation. Trust the inner knowing that tells you there is something more meant for you. Aquarius is the reminder that faith is not found in seeing the entire path. Faith is found in taking the first step, while knowing the path will reveal itself as you walk. You are being prepared for moments that will test your strength and expand your light. You are being guided toward connections that will lift your spirit and paths that will elevate your purpose. Let your heart open to that possibility with courage and gratitude. Now imagine yourself standing in a wide-open field beneath a sky that stretches endlessly in every direction. The air is calm, yet filled with electricity, carrying the promise of transformation. Above you, the constellations shimmer like ancient guardians of destiny. One of them glows brighter than the rest. It is the constellation of Aquarius, the bearer of knowledge, the guide of progress, the guardian of awakening. Feel its light reaching toward you. Feel it recognizing your spirit. Feel it reminding you that you are part of something sacred, something vast, something eternal. You are more powerful than the doubts that tried to silence you. You are more insightful than the voices that misunderstood you. You are more aligned than the fears that attempted to redirect you. You were born with a mind that sees beyond barriers, a heart that embraces humanity, and a spirit that refuses to settle for anything less than truth. This is your inheritance. This is your legacy. This is your calling. The universe is not waiting for a perfect moment to reveal your purpose. It has been revealing it all along through every challenge, every insight, every awakening. As we close this journey, let one truth echo within you. You are not here to dim your light. You are here to let it shine so fully that it becomes a beacon for those who are still searching for their own. You are not here to follow the path that others expect. You are here to create a path that inspires others to rise. Your presence is a gift. Your vision is a guide. Your spirit is a reminder that the future belongs to those who believe in possibility. When you walk forward from this moment, walk with the confidence that you are aligned with the energy of Aquarius. Walk with the certainty that you are guided. Walk with the courage that you are meant to awaken more than yourself. Thank you for being here, for listening, for allowing these words to meet you at the exact point of your journey where they were needed. If this message touched your spirit, if it awakened something quiet and powerful inside you, then I invite you to continue exploring. There are many other videos waiting for you on this channel, each one created to expand your understanding, strengthen your intuition, and deepen your connection to who you are becoming. Stay with us, and let the journey continue.